Oh, wow. Now, that is what we want to see. Sam Howell to Terry. We talked about it in the pregame. The man didn't get the targets we expected in week 1, but in week 2, he showed up and showed out. Look at that snag, fellas. Wow.
Fantastic play. I mean, that's what you come to expect from him, though, right? He's always making those contested catches. Great to see him make it in the biggest moment of the game.
You expect Terry to make plays like that, but damn, can we get an easy game? I mean, can I go to a game and just have the last 5 minutes to relax a little bit?
Commander Stanley, welcome into Command Center Postgame Live. Brian Colbert Jr. here with Super Bowl champion Brian Mitchell, legend, tight end Logan Paulson, and fellas, I don't know about y'all, but my heart's still racing. I'm shaking right now.
Listen, I'm sitting here, what did I say? Russ can throw the ball that far. Pop up, you know what, great play in the end. You don't get in the victory, but man, let me tell you one thing. We saw a lot today.
Yes, we did.
I said I wanted them to start fast. Didn't start fast. But they came back, and they took over the football game. But this shows you when this team plays the way it's capable of playing, what they can do. Think of the defense playing at its best as the round was leading the way.
Right.
Think of what the offense did when they came back roaring. If they all get together, as I stated, this league is going to be surprised by this football team.
And I think that we all were surprised by a few things today, and we're going to get into all of that stuff while we wait for Coach Ron Rivera's presser. We will talk to you all the way up until that point. Logan, talk about surprises, man. Initial thoughts on this game.
So for me, man, I think this, B-Mitch said, would have liked them to start fast. In some ways, I like this better because they showed they can handle adversity. How many times have you been a part of this team or covered this team or been a part of any team, B, where it gets down early and it doesn't feel good, right? And all of a sudden they're able to get a play. Jamin punches the football out. They're able to get that down. Logan Thomas makes that brilliant catch for a touchdown. And then all of a sudden the momentum starts to switch and they grind and they push, and it's all 3 phases working together to get that victory. So in some ways, I like that this is showing a different type of character for this football team and something that you can build on moving forward 100%.
I think what it showed a lot, too, you got a lot of answers. As I look at it, is Terry McLaurin hurting? Maybe, but he's still better than most people when he's not fully 100%.
Yes, sir.
Can Sam Howell play in this league? Hell yeah. Can Eric Bieniemy call plays? Did y'all see him?
Yes, sir.
Can Chase Young play still? Yes. Montez Sweat. Looking at Deron Payne, absolute man-child out there. And Logan, how tough is he?
Yeah.
The dude held onto the ball. Looked like he was dinged right there, but he held onto it, went off with a thumbs up. I think a lot of questions were answered, but this team should feel good about himself. I saw a game last night that ended today, early this morning. Colorado State against Colorado. Great resolve. And then I came here today, and I say, Denver, you lost.
Yeah.
2 of your teams in Colorado lost, but I would say you all saw 2 great football games.
And you used the words great resolve, right?
Yeah.
And I think that was the conversation week 1 when talking about Sam Howell, right? It started off ugly. It didn't start off good. Fumble that went for a touchdown, but what did Sam Howell do? He came back, strapped it up, and got that touchdown. Let's talk about that and the resolve from our quarterback, because again, got off to a slow start.
Yes.
But ended up getting us in there. Talk about it.
I don't even know it was that slow of a start. They were moving the ball pretty effectively, but they weren't coming away with points.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I think, it was that 2-minute drive, that 2-minute sequence right before half where they're able to get in there and he makes those brilliant throws to Bates up the sideline. Holy cow. How was that throw? That doesn't get much better than that. So to see that composure, and I don't think it's a coincidence that it comes in a 2-minute situation. Last week it was a 2-minute situation right before half. They're able to get 3 points. Here they're able to get 2-minute situation leads to a touchdown, and it kind of changes the whole complexion of the game, changes the momentum, and it's no coincidence to me because that's what they practice every single day during training camp. So I think you practice what you preach, and it's great to see that execution. It's great to see that composure from Sam Howell.
And it's going to be more positive all day, but still, there's some things Sam can learn. It's going to make him a much better quarterback.
100%.
That reversing out of the pocket, climbing the pocket. And I think once he learns those things, and you see a lot on the defense, the touchdown that was given up, Chase crashed down. Keep contained.
Yeah.
Those are little things, but I love the fact that they've won 2 games that weren't super pretty, okay? But the coaches have the opportunity to come and correct things, and players are willing to learn it, willing to listen to it, because they did win. And now when you look at the film, you look at it, you go, damn, man, we should have beat them by 2 or 3 touchdowns. And you scored 30-something points, you should have beat somebody by 2 or 3 touchdowns. It shows you how good you can be.
And you talk about how good we can be. I think we saw how good Brian Robinson could be. Now, I need to see this 4th quarter touchdown. It was the second one. His second one now. And this is our fast play of the game presented by the Maryland Lottery Fast Play Games. Play fast, win fast today, but please play responsibly. Now, like I said, this is his second touchdown of the fourth quarter. Brian Robinson Jr., what did you guys see on this play and just from B-Rob throughout the entire game?
Well, to me, it was like when that fourth quarter came around, he was just a different man. You know what I'm saying? You saw the athleticism, you saw the vision. I think here, right, you get a great block by Bates, taking 2 on Nick Bonito, working to the safety, collapses the edge. And, dude, look at the footwork, man. Look at the power. Like, that's what we've come to expect from him. It's great to see him kind of being healthy again. So, love that. Love that they were able to kind of put their stamp on the game and say, game's done now, bro. Like, and the running back's getting that done.
You see him doing all those drills all the time with Randy Jordan, going through the ropes, doing the jump cuts and all that. He did everything right there. I talked with him earlier this year, and he was saying it's much better now because he's not going through the situation he went through.
Sure.
Where he didn't have the opportunity to go out there and prepare. He has all offseason to prepare. So he's going to be in better shape, much quicker. He looked out there like he's ready to go. And I think also Antonio coming in the game.
Yeah.
Did a great job. Rodriguez, when you start picking teams, I always say when you pick somebody, I don't care who they are, they should be able to come out and help you. And we saw just about everybody that played today come out and do something well.
And that's a beautiful thing. And if you guys are just now tuning in with us, remember, we are waiting on Coach Ron Rivera. We're going to head to his presser. But until then, we got a lot more to talk about. Now, Logan, I want to stay on B-Rob, right?
Sure.
We talk about the preparation. Last season, a lot of things going on, a lot of storylines with B-Rob. This is really his first full season to really get after it. What have you seen from him in these first 2 games?
Well, I think the thing that sticks out to me probably is how he's working with the offensive line. I mean, like usually like when you're watching last year's rushing attack, you know, the game against Arizona, the rushing attack, it's like a little bit muddy, right? He's kind of banging in there, kind of grinding out 3 yards. Here there were creases, man. He was finding the creases. He was setting blocks up. And I think you get to see how special he can be when he's working into space, you know? And I think everyone, like that run in the fourth quarter where he's bowling people over down the field, like that's so fantastic to see that skill set kind of come to life. But it's not just him. It's the receivers blocking downfield. It's the offensive line working together. And that's something that I think is something that they can build on, right? Is it shows a clean, well-targeted rushing attack, and he's going to be the beneficiary.
I don't mean to cut you off, but we got Coach Ron Rivera.
What can you say about the turnaround? It's 21-3, not looking so hot, and then it just changed.
Well, I think the biggest thing, more than anything else, and we talked about it with our guys this week, and that was about takeaways. You know, it's one of those things that, you know, we gained momentum last week when we got the takeaways. We gained momentum when we got the takeaways this week, and I think that's one of the things that our guys have to understand. You know, that we are opportunistic. We just have to make sure that we can create them earlier. That way it would not have to be as much of a struggle.
And then what happened on the last 2 plays, the touchdown,
Smokes.
and then the 2-point defense?
Well, I mean, we were in position. Unfortunately, the ball bounced the wrong way. You would love to have seen it go the other direction, but, and kudos to one of their guys for being alert enough, and we just got to understand that we got to get in our box-out positions a little bit better.
Not to say Brian Robinson didn't have big games last year, but was this one where you could really see his full potential?
Yes, there was a couple things on the sideline that, you know, he was a little low, and you know, he got it going again, and once he got it rolling, that's what the young man's capable of. And I think, you know, this is indicative of what he can be. This was balance as far as our offense was concerned. It's the stuff that EB talks about all the time. We actually, you know, when we meet and we talk about, you know, what he anticipates, what he wants to do. And one thing he talked about was balance, and we saw that today. The ability to run the ball, the ability to throw the ball, use the screen game. You know, run the ball inside, run the ball outside. We did some things that were really good for us, and we can grow from these things.
To that end.
On the after came and forced the fumble, you guys get the ball. Can you talk about that sequence there?
Well, that's exactly what we talked about earlier when Nicky asked. You know, basically the whole idea was that once we got the momentum off the takeaway, that's something that really built a little momentum for us as a football team.
You mentioned Ben. I mean, do you feel like he was really getting in rhythm there?
Yes, he had some real good opportunities, and you know, we missed a couple of things out there as a team. I mean, that's, you know, some of our guys, we talk about being playmakers, and when you get the chance, you got to step up, and we missed a couple of those, and the guys know that, and they'll learn from it on Tuesday when we get a chance to break the tape down and see the things that we could have done.
Why did the defense start slow?
You got to give them a little bit of credit too. You know, they came out and did a couple of things. You know, we did blow a coverage, to be quite honest with you, and I'm not getting into specifics to it, but I know, you know, watching the play and then listening to the coaches talk about it in the headset, you know, and we can't miss little detailed things. It's one thing to, you know, to get influenced on the action in front of you, but you've got to stay disciplined and play your assignment.
What did you think of Chase in his return?
It was great to see him out there. He's so doggone anxious, and a couple times you look out and he's running out there when he's not supposed to, and he's not listening. He wants to play so bad, and it was so good to see him play the way he did. He started to get some rhythm going. He and Montez had a couple of real good meets at the quarterback rushes that were really good to see. So I'm anxious to really watch the tape and get a chance to study him a little bit.
What's it say about your team that 2 consecutive weeks come back winning?
It's a little bit about the resilience, but it also tells us we got to stop putting ourselves in that position. To be very honest with you, I mean, it's disappointing that first quarter in the first 2 phases. Offense and defense. We got to understand. Really good teams, and this is a really good team. They're going to make it hard on you, and this was about as hard as it got.
What'd you think of your young quarterback first road start?
Well, I thought he was pretty resilient. There were a couple times that again. I still think, he started doing it later in, started throwing the ball away, started sliding. So he's learning, and I think he's going to get better. I do. I just think that, if we can continue to work and grow as units, we have a chance.
How much did Howell's poise when you guys were down 18, does that affect the other guys at all?
Yes,
Did you see that?
it does. And when a guy can maintain that poise in front of his teammates, I think that really helps them. And it's like he's very unflappable, and he really handled it very, very well, and I think his teammates feed off of it. It was exciting to see him do some of the things that he did today, because those are things we're going to build off of.
What do you learn from Howell in a game like this?
What do you learn?
Yeah.
Well, I think you learn, first of all, you take what's there early on. You don't have to try and force everything vertical. We have guys that can make some plays underneath. I think those are some of the things that a young quarterback can learn, and he's and he's also learning he's got the ability to push the ball downfield if he needs to.
Any concern about Duran?
No, we won't know anything until they get back tomorrow.
Ron, just on Sam again, the ball to Terry in the end zone, that's a fairly tight window. What did he show you there?
It showed you he can be pinpoint accurate. It really does. He's got a strong arm and he can make those kind of throws. But the biggest thing more than anything else he did was you could see him really just kind of time it out and get it out when it needed to be. And that's something that as he continues to play, you'll see his timing get better and better.
Ron, what does it say, again, going back to the early deficit, to come out with the road win, what kind of jolt can this give a team going forward?
Well, what I think it really tells them is that they are capable if they stick to it. And the crazy part is like we were kind of waiting for something good to happen for us, and then when Jamin got the strip, that really kind of gave us a little bit of a jolt, and then offensively go down and score, and then be able to get the 2-point conversion. That was that was an even bigger play for us too, and then get the field goal, to score 11 points like that. That was good.
Coach, preliminary count, 9 explosive plays from the offense, 6 in the second half. What's the difference between the first half explosives and the second?
Well, I think a little bit had to do with being balanced, being able to run the ball successfully. I think that really helped, and I thought the screen game really was effective as well.
And then on the flip side, the Broncos had about 4 in the first half, and then only 2 counting the last play in the second half.
Well, again, as I said earlier on, we blew a couple of coverages that we shouldn't have. We got to be better than that. And again, we can't inflict ourselves and expect to win games all the time. And again, give them credit that they came out and Russell Wilson, he fought and his teammates fought, and Coach Payton came at us and we were able to withstand it. Thank goodness.
What was the message at halftime?
For the most part, it's 4 quarters. That this game was all about 4 quarters. We got 2 more left to go. We put ourselves back in place to be able to compete, and that's all we needed was the chance to compete.
Ron, this is your 100th win. What does that mean?
No, it's really cool. It really is. I'm very fortunate to have so many great players and coaches that helped me get to where I am today. This is something that's really about a team effort, and I've just been very fortunate to have a lot of people help me get to where I am.
Duran Payne, the way he came out of the second half, those 3 plays, really, What did you see from him?
He set the tone. That's what he is. He's an explosive, dynamic player who can make plays for us from that position, and just the fact that he set that tone and tempo really helped us and gave us the jolt we needed.
Take 3 more.
You guys were pretty aggressive going forward on 4th, going for 2, play calling, the 59-yard field goal. Was that an emphasis going into this game, or is that broader?
I think it's broader than that. Sam, I really do. I think, we know that we're a young team and we have to learn to win. It's one of the things that we do talk about. We go through a checklist, at the end of the week about how do we want to approach this game, what do we want to do in certain situations, certain circumstances.
How did the altitude plan hold up?
As far as I know, so far, so good. We'll see when we get back tomorrow, see if anybody has any complaints.
Last one.
The Logan Thomas touchdown, what did you see from your vantage point?
It was helmet to helmet. I mean, it was obvious, and but it was a heck of a catch, and just the fact that he held on and, was able to do that was great.
All right, thanks,
All right,
Coach.
cool. Thank you, guys.
And that was Coach, guys. I mean, always poised, but very humble in victory. Great to see those guys. Logan, I'm going to start with you. And you see that 35-33. 2-0, baby.
Crazy, man.
Logan, what do you feel about Coach and what he had to say?
So what I think I took out of that is there's 70 plays in a game, 140 plays counting offense and defense, and it comes down to 5 plays here, 5 plays there. Jamin punching the ball out, the 2-point conversion, the touchdown by Logan, all those plays that come together. Duran on that 3-and-out where he's making the tackle, he's batting the ball down. You know what I mean? And you look back and think, those are the moments that turn the game. And it's crazy to hear a coach who's just coming out of the zoo there in Denver and saying it's the same moments for him. He identified them in the game. I think that's pretty cool.
Well, what I heard is we won a game.
There you go. There you go, baby.
And yes, it was a challenging game, but we won it. Also, when he talked about Chase,
dude, the smile.
He had a big smile on his face, and I guess that's Ryan telling all of you. You've been asking me all these questions. I told you when he's ready, he'll be ready. Okay, and he was ready to play today. But ultimately, what you saw was an overall team effort. And he talked about that, the adjustments that were made offensively, defensively, to go out there and make sure you go out and stop them from what they were doing. But this thing went all the way down to it. And like Logan stated, you're going to see 5 plays here, 5 plays there from either team. Just make sure yours are bigger. And they were bigger today.
Sure. And I think the other crazy thing to me is that he acknowledges even though this was an awesome performance, 35 points by the offense, there's still plays left out there.
Yes.
Offensively and defensively. So if they can get that corrected, imagine what this team can be.
And I think that's the big part of it, right? Yeah. Imagine what this team could be. Right. We still haven't really seen the full potential of this team. Mm-hmm. And love hearing you talk, Logan. Love hearing Coach talk. And if you want to hear more of them talk, you have to tune in to the game plan. Coach and Logan break down the game tape, and it's really good stuff. You can watch every Sunday morning at 8:30 a.m. They get up early for y'all on WUSA 9, and you can catch the full episodes on our YouTube channel if you do not feel like getting up that early. Now, ladies and gentlemen, stick with us. We know you're watching. We know you're in here. We know you're excited just like us. We have a lot more to get into. We talking defense. We talking offense. We talking touchdowns. We talking turnovers, because yes, we did win the turnover battle today, and it got us the W. Stay tuned for more Command Center Postgame Live. We'll be.
Have fun, sis. Have fun, sis.
Can't stop adding stuff to your cart? Get the Bank of America customized cash rewards card. Choose the online shopping category and earn 3% cash back.
In-play betting, because a lot can happen in 4 quarters. You can wager on the spread, game props, player props, totals, and the money line. Bet365 is the world's favorite sports book for many reasons. In-play betting is just one of them.
Are you on your way?
Yep, coming.
And Mom and Dad?
Don't worry, they'll be there.
Happy anniversary!
Go beyond the expected with the #1 most dependable mass market brand 3 years in a row by J.D. Power. Kia, movement that inspires.
One bag.
The winter play was really coming together. Until disaster struck. tensions were high. Luckily, replacement costumes were shipped with FedEx, which means Mr. Harvey could picture the perfect night. We're ready for the holidays, so you're ready for what's next.
Dad, we're gonna be late.
Can't stop adding stuff to your cart? Get the Bank of America customized cash rewards card. Choose the online shopping category and earn 3% cash back.
It's the toast of the town, presented by B. Mitch. Help me with that one.
La Charmaine du Roc.
Champagne and Branson Cognac, the official champagne and cognac of the Washington Commanders. Welcome back in Commanders family to Command Center Postgame Live. I'm Brian Colbert Jr. here with B. Mitch, here with Logan Paulson. And fellas, look at those numbers by Sam Howell. I think we rounded up on his total yards, but you know what? It's all good. That 300 looks real good. 2 touchdowns, and what a completion percentage by the young quarterback. B. Mitch, we're going to start with you. You've been in them shoes before.
Yeah.
What'd you see from your guy today?
Well, you know, he started off, he wasn't hitting things as I know he wants to, but as that game went on, you saw how composed he is, how poised he is, and the guy has some moxie.
Dude.
You know, he had some moxie. He had a long run that was called back. But he showed a lot of moxie, and the thing about him, a lot of people out there, they look for people to be finished products.
Yeah.
Allow him to grow. Look at him now, and you'll see what he could possibly be.
I mean, gosh, I just see so much talent, honestly. Like, it's crazy to think, you know, everyone says, oh, he could have been the first pick in the draft last year. And, like, I wasn't as high on him coming out of college in terms of evaluation. But the release, the accuracy, the composure in the pocket, the ability to make plays off schedule, like, it's all there. Now, are there some blemishes? 100%. Like, his pocket awareness, how long he holds the football, all of those things are issues. But, golly, that throw to Logan Thomas, the throw to Terry, both of his touchdowns were outstanding. The throw to John Bates up the sideline, those are big boy, elite NFL throws, and the fact we've got somebody in here who can do that quickly is pretty spectacular. And so the fact that I'm with you, B. He's not a completely finalized product, but man, he is. So he has the makings of being something very special.
The thing about it, like, and the thing you have to understand, as he continues doing it, he'll learn it. Now I'll think this. Listen, if you're his teammates, you know, coaches, listen, man. Go up the field, try to climb the pocket. You don't see anything, dump it.
Yeah, what were you saying? You were saying something about him kind of not really feeling the pocket that well.
The thing about when he's in the pocket, he has a tendency to want to drop his shoulder and turn his back. If you turn your back to what's downfield, you can't look downfield. But if you just climb the pocket, a la Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. You know, even you saw Russ doing it a little bit today. When you climb the pocket, that means you're stepping up into it. You still can keep your eyes downfield, and his arm is strong enough to get it. You saw he was getting hit in the chest one time when he delivered the ball to Logan. So ultimately, he just has to learn that instead of that reverse out. That reverse out, that caused a lot of problems. Fumbles, and you get hit in the chest and land on the back of your head.
Yeah, so clearly not a finished product, Sam Howell, right? I mean, thrown in there, now he's the full-time starter, and we're seeing him grow, right? And we've shown you guys the podium, which means Sam Howell will be coming to talk to you guys. We will show y'all his presser, but until then, we're going to keep talking this offense. We're going to keep talking Sam Howell. Now, we talk about the development of Sam Howell, right? We haven't really seen full Sam Howell. I mean, at one point, this guy was supposed to be a first-round pick out of North Carolina. So we know this guy has the talent. Logan, what else do you need to see from Sam Howell to take those next step and maybe even start a little faster for us?
It's crazy. Like, I feel like everyone is kind of like trying to rush. Like, what do you see, Nick? What's the next step? And I feel like I've been so happy with where he's at. Like, think about how many second-year players are doing what he's doing. I'm not just saying that because I'm a homer, but like when you look at guys in their second year, like this is what is his third start. Think about all these other rookies, like Bryce Young, whoever it is, Stroud. Like they're struggling in a different way than he is. I think his struggle comes from just the feel and the timing of the NFL game. Like you see right here, like he's on his drop step, right? And then taking 2 hitches instead of taking 2 hitches, just take one, man. Get that ball out. You know what I'm saying? Feeling that timing, trusting his feet, trusting the rhythm of the receivers, anticipating throws, and that stuff is the hardest stuff, I think, is the hardest stuff to project because it's so challenging for them to see those NFL defenses and to see the speed of the NFL game. So that to me is one area that I think he's got to develop at, but I think if you're a fan of this team, be very, very excited because he does some special stuff with the football.
I don't know where the number ended up, but I looked at the stats during the game. He had thrown the ball to 10 different people. And I think that right there is what Eric Bieniemy does well, and offense that came from Andy Reid, and what Sam is doing, he's getting the ball around to different people, which makes your offense even more deadly to stop. You know, and I think Eric, as he talked about when they make a mistake, he goes right back to him. Sam is good, is happy, should be happy to have a guy like Eric right now who's going along with him because he understands the young guy trying to learn. Gonna keep feeding it to him, and I see he keeps passing the test.
And you're completely right. 10 different receivers touched the ball this game, and we talked about that in week 1 too. I mean, I think 6 different receivers touched it in the first half alone. Logan, what does it mean as a receiver to have a quarterback that you know he's not just looking for one guy; he's looking to spread that ball around? What does that do for you as a receiver?
Well, I think it does a couple things. One, I think there's a trust in the offense, right? You're not trying to force it to Terry or force it to Jahan. It's like, what is the concept giving me? And as a receiver, you say, oh, I'm never dead. Right? Yeah. If I'm the sit route, I'm holding underneath coverage. If that underneath player drops, I'm getting the ball, right? Yeah. And the quarterback is reading the defense, distributing the concept the way it's supposed to be distributed, and that's just going to lead to, again, more offensive production, quicker development for him, and the fact that he's doing all this stuff in a new offense so quickly this year, I mean, it's really impressive. And I know it's week 2. I know there's still like I have a 5-game policy. B. If you still look good after 5 games, I trust you because I feel like defenses need 5 games of film to really dial in on you. But right now, man, like what he's doing is so special.
Going around. I was saying after week 5 is when I can really
go
really?
Crazy man, as well. It's great minds, right?
Oh yeah,
great minds. You talk about great minds. You mentioned Coach Bieniemy.
Yes.
Showed what he could do. He's showing every game we see him with these Commanders what he's capable of when play calling. Let's talk about his play calling a little bit, B. Mitch.
Well, the thing about him, you can see he has so many concepts in his head, and I think that's why I sit up here and I give Sam so much credit as well because I know what they're trying to do, and what they're trying to do is every damn thing. Yeah. But you watch them with the running game, it picked up. Yeah. Start off a little slow. The passing game start off a little slow, but once they start clicking. That defense is trying to figure out what the hell's coming. Yeah. Because what they do with different personnel groupings, they run the same thing sometimes, but the different person is running the route. A different person is getting the football. You saw Chris Rodriguez coming to the game. He's a fullback.
Yep, that's right.
They have so much going on that a defense cannot figure it all out. And for someone to be able to sit there and I'm the captain now, Eric, to be able to think about what you're trying to get done and how you're trying to get it done, that says a lot, So he now has a guy in Sam who takes all of that and takes it to the huddle, and he's running it great for him. So I'm thrilled with what they're doing right now. Eric has been doing a great job. He, sometimes they like to come out and let that thing go.
It's true.
But he quickly goes back to the run when he sees it's not working.
Well, I was going to say, like early in the game, like Sam was holding the ball a long time. I think we all saw that. And I think, one of the things Fletch said on the broadcast was that they're playing these soft zone coverages. How do you get teams out of soft zone coverage? You run the football. So I feel like he maybe stuck with kind of that traditional passing attack too long. Then you see in the second half, the runs start clipping off. He's more committed to it. The screen games start popping up. And the diversity of what you're talking about. Early on, I felt like it was very, very kind of specific. Like we're getting dropbacks, and then it kind of all of a sudden the whole book opens up. The counters, the GTs, the screens, all that stuff you want to see from him came to life, and it really kind of opened up and I think confused and made it very challenging for that Denver defense to be successful.
And a big key to this game for all of us, I believe, was the rushing game, right? Let's talk about B-Rob for a second, right? 87 yards, 2 touchdowns, all in the fourth quarter, mind you, the 2 touchdowns. Very, very crucial touchdowns. B-Mitch, what did you see from your running back today, and how does he look more comfortable every time we see him on this field?
He looks more fluid, more comfortable, but what I love so much about him is he makes people think twice about tackling him. And I think, the world has changed, football has changed, but there's still an intimidation factor of football.
Sure.
And everyone thinks just the defensive player has a chance to hit. As a running back, you put on shoulder pads to use. Okay?
Yes.
And if I'm 220, 230, and I'm coming downhill and you're a cornerback, or you some linebacker that don't want to do it, I'm going to play chicken with you. I'm coming full speed at you to see if you want to move. If I do it 5 times and you keep moving, I know I can run through you.
Yeah.
And I think B-Rob runs the football like that. So he has a mind, and his offensive lineman sees it.
Yeah.
And they start getting a little riled up about that. So it all works hand in hand. The guy showed last year, preseason, what he was about. Went through his ordeal, came back, showed what he's about. And right now, looks like a guy that played at Alabama.
And I think the other thing that's crazy about him is that, like, think about the conditioning. The conditioning of him as an athlete, the conditioning of the team. For them to be that successful in the second half, like, that speaks to everything they were doing this offseason, man. Like, those practices, those 120 play practices, those grinding practices in the heat of the summer. Like, what altitude, man? Who was a better team in the second half?
Right.
It was the team that was on the road here, and I think that's a testament again, to the change in play calling, to the kind of composure of Sam Howell, to the play calling of EB, but also the physical conditioning of that team was outstanding, which was great to see.
You want to get to somewhere you've never been, do something you never did.
Amen.
They practice differently. See what's happening.
Wise words from a wise man.
There you go.
And it wasn't just B-Rob. We do have a two-headed monster. We do have Antonio Gibson. Now, we only got 2 carries. However, he was used slightly differently in the offense this game than we saw EB use him last game. He got out there and got some big catches, got some big gains. What does it mean to have a guy like B-Rob who's going to go right at you, but then have a guy like Gibson who's going to be able to spread the ball a little bit, move around that offense?
I think having both, have any running backs, they have to be multifaceted. B-Rob, they'll throw the ball to him too. They'll let AG run the football, and if Chris gets an opportunity, they'll do the same with him. Because I think you're not trying to allow a defense to say, "Oh, B-Rob's in the game, they're going to only run the ball." Antonio's in the game, they're going to pass the ball. You want them to have to be concerned about both, and I think those guys are both capable of that. Just when B-Rob runs the football, he doesn't mind giving you that thing when he wants to give it to you.
Exactly.
Yeah, and for me, seeing Antonio Gibson being used in that kind of space satellite role on the screens is something we've been calling for. I know the fans have been calling for probably 4 years.
Oh, yeah.
And you see how dangerous, he's not the most kind of polished runner, right? He doesn't have that skill set the same way B-Rob does. B-Rob just has that je ne sais quoi, that feel when he's running the football, able to find those soft spots. AG, it's not as natural, but when you get him the ball in space, you see that 4.3 speed, you see the size, you see the playmaker, and I think that's what I want to see more of, right? And you're totally right, B. He's got to pass protect. He's got to run the ball occasionally, but I want to see him catch screens. I want to see him get into that space, and we saw that a couple times today, and that was such an awesome thing, I think, for the athlete to kind of see the utilization package moving forward, but also for the team, because now you've got all these weapons that need to be accounted for, and you're seeing them all being used to kind of their best ability. I mean, Cole Turner catches the ball. John Bates catches the ball, right? To B. Mitch's point about 10 guys, there's all these weapons, and the backs were outstanding also.
Je ne sais quoi, Logan. I like that. Let's go. So I paid attention in French class. Now, if you are just now tuning in, remember, we are awaiting Sam Howell at the presser. We will go right to that as soon as he's there. But until then, we're talking more football. Now, one guy I want to mention, especially to you, Logan, is Logan Thomas, right?
Yeah.
We saw him go out early. We saw him go out after making an incredible touchdown grab. We've kind of spoke about pretty much all season how important of a safety blanket Logan was going to be to Sam Howell. In concussion protocol, if he misses some time, how does that affect a young quarterback losing that big tight end option?
Well, first off, let me just say, what a fantastic play.
Wow.
Unbelievable. I mean, and so it's multifaceted, right? Obviously, you get the turnover, and how many times have we seen this team get a turnover and never be able to capitalize on it?
Yes.
And then you go down there, and in a critical situation, Logan Thomas is catching that dig and gets absolutely smoked on what is an illegal hit, right? The guy gets ejected from the game. For him to hold on to that ball, that is a momentum, that is a culture-changing moment, and great job by him catching that football. Unfortunately, if he misses some time, that's going to be terrible, because I think he's a really outstanding football player, and you saw it today. You saw some of the contested catches. You saw that ability. Obviously week 1 wasn't his best performance, but I think today you saw more of what he's going to be. I think that what's great about this team is that they've got a lot of depth, right? We saw Cole Turner making some excellent plays. John Bates, man. John Bates making plays, and a lot of people sleep on John Bates. He's got soft hands, and so I think there's a nice dynamic duo still remaining. Curtis Hodges, maybe this is an opportunity for him to set up, but I really hope Logan's going to be healthy, because I think he is the best playmaker of that bunch, because he's got the most experience, and he does have that relationship with Sam.
Yeah, and we talk about the depth of this team, right? We talk about all the guys that are being able to touch this rock, all the guys that are getting a part of this EB offense. Was there anything that surprised you all, B. Mitch, I'm going to start with you, about this offense that you weren't expecting to see, that you didn't necessarily see in week 1?
No, nothing surprised me, because one thing about it, what I know about this offense from being in it for 3 years,
that's right, I keep forgetting you're in this offense.
Every week is something different.
Yeah.
And the thing about it, watching Terry get a lot of targets today, next week he may not. Because there's going to be a defense that try to take him out of it. So I'm not surprised. It's just you don't know what phase of the offense will be ran at that point, in any given point in time. Listen, I'm telling you, you can pick up a little children's book about 100 pages, and you pick up an encyclopedia. That offense is an encyclopedia. Most of these offenses are children's book.
I like that analogy.
Yeah, and I think for me, it was just kind of the maturity of the group. And what I mean by that is, how many times, again, have you watched this team over your time covering the team, and you say, oh, they just don't make the plays when they need to make them, right? The ball's not there, the route's not correct. And I think about like that touchdown to Terry. You know, the ball is in perfect position, and Terry goes and makes a play. The touchdown to Logan, excellent job. The run by B-Rob where the tight end's taken 2 and gives him an opportunity to get in space. Or the screen to Gibson where Gates is running out and gets a little bump on the nose guard who's coming in pursuit, and that busts it out, right? We've run that screen before. We've run that version of that offense, and it's not hit because that guy hasn't done his job. And so now you get a group of guys working like that. I don't know, it's an exciting proposition because that is good offensive football. Attention to detail and execution in the biggest moments. And I think that's something that, again, like I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting the offense to be this mature at this point. So I'm again, like this far exceeded any expectation I had for this team and this unit. And so it's great to see that.
But I think you look at when Eric was in Kansas City and the playfulness that comes with this offense. It's like he adds a playground feel to it, where he wants guys to have fun. Yeah, I want you to be serious. I want to hold you accountable for what you're doing. We're going to have fun with this offense.
Because it's fun to win.
So when you look at that, listen, I know how Andy was, and I know what Andy told me about Eric, that Eric will pick up something, bring it in, or tell the players to bring it in. And if it works, they'll run it. They'll put it in the game plan. So ultimately it shows you have some level of ownership with this offense, which makes anybody want to go out and perform even more. I used to drop all kind of stuff for Andy.
Did you really? Did he take anything?
He put a couple things in there.
There you go. There you go.
So I'm sure if he's ever going to a guy and say, what do you think? Or what kind of plays you see? And they gave him anything, it gets in there. And then now when you're a player, you don't just say, Coach is giving us all this crap. Coach running our crap. So you love it even more.
And like Logan said, everybody loves winning, and winning is a lot of fun. And the guy that we both know are having a lot of fun is Sam Howell, and that's what we are waiting on right now. Sam Howell is just moments away from coming to his presser. We will take that live and show you everything your quarterback has to say. But until then, I think we need to show Sam Howell more love while we have the time. And for me, talk about that wisdom you were mentioning earlier, Logan. He seems wise beyond his years sometimes, especially with the way he's so calm. I mean, we see him walk around this facility, right? Just very stoic, very, very calm. Even for a young guy, how important is it to see a guy like that just be so stoic, especially when he hasn't gotten a ton of in-game reps?
Well, Ron mentioned this in his presser, and like, you know, in these moments where the game is kind of where the sky is falling, having a guy there that you can just set your watch by is so important. Like when I played with Atlanta and played with Matt Ryan, like he's a guy that was never up or down. Or Deshaun Watson, say what you want about him off the field. As a leader, he was outstanding, and like it's that he's your North Star as an offense, because you say, oh, how's that guy doing? Oh, he's fine. We're fine. There
you go.
You know what I'm saying? And he kind of calms everybody down. And the worst thing that can happen is you get that quarterback in the huddle that's like, hey guys, we gotta make it. You're just like, no, man, like let's just execute the offense. And I think that composure, that maturity that you're talking about, or that you're describing, is something that's very, very powerful for a group. And you see it, like it takes a lot. This situation, I'm sure you've been in situations like this before as a team where nothing's going right. It takes a lot to right that ship. And it's not just Sam, it's everybody, but I think that element of him just being like Mr. Consistent allows this group to do that.
I was watching TV earlier today, and this lady said when things are happening on an airplane, she always looked at the flight attendants. And if they were calm, she knew she was calm. Because it wasn't nothing serious. And you're absolutely right. When you're on offense, and you look at your quarterback and he seems to have everything under control, that takes a lot of pressure off the other players. That's what Sam has been. He's a young guy, but ultimately I think his calmness keeps that team together.
And I was going to say, with the flight attendants, you look at him because they've been there before.
There you go.
And with Sam, he's somehow earned that respect, you know, in a very unique way. And it just speaks to what you were talking about, B. Something else. There's something else going on with him, a little bit of magic, which gets you excited that maybe he could be something very special. He's not there yet, but it gives you some excitement about it.
And you mentioned he's not there yet, right? You guys talked about a few things to start the show about the things you guys want to see more of. If you both can name one thing that Sam Howell can do to take that game to the next level, even though he's playing good, right? We're not saying he's not playing well. He is playing well, but there's always another level you can take it, right? Logan, what is that one thing you see and you're like, you know what, if he fixes this, man, ooh, they're in trouble?
I think it's the timing, you know, just understanding the timing that he's going to have in the pocket. Like we talked about this while we were watching, B, and like I trust you a lot with this, but like he gets the top of his drop and you see like he's looking and he's waiting. And when you're with a good quarterback, like when you watch a Tom Brady or when you're with a Matt Ryan, he gets to the top of his drop and he knows I have like a tenth of a second to make a decision, and the ball's out. It's either going to the back or it's going to the receiver, whatever it is. And that rhythm, that shows a maturity to me and an understanding of the NFL game. Right? Like one of the things about Tom Brady that people who play with him always said is that he could, based on the coverage structure, anticipate where the ball needed to go, and that's what allowed him to get the ball out so quickly. He's not there yet because he doesn't have enough file. Right? There's not enough, he doesn't have enough. But as he gets more reps, that's going to develop. And so when that starts to happen, man, and it could happen this year, which would be exciting, which would be incredibly exciting for this organization, that's going to be a scary, scary time for everybody else.
I think the ultimate thing, like, and it's about the pocket, where if he learns in the pocket where everybody looks at the most athletic quarterbacks and feel like, oh, that guy should be able to get away with stuff. When you're running to the edges, you're running to where the people are. Yeah. When you're climbing it, normally you have a center who's going to anchor and make the apex of the pocket. Yeah. And the guards sit a little tougher. The tackles push you around. So if you're trying to run around the edge, you're going where they're pushing the tackle, pushing the ends. If he learns to just climb up a little bit, he can still deliver everything. And the thing about it, I've always learned, the better quarterbacks are the guys that are less athletic.
Because they have to step up.
Because, see, and the athletic quarterbacks always think, I can get it done. The moment he starts realizing you don't have to get it done, you got a multitude of guys. You threw it to 10 people today. You have a multitude of guys who will get it done for you and who are built to get hit. You're not built that way.
And I was just about to say, like, it's really interesting that, like, if you look at the preseason, look at the first game, he had a lot of success escaping on that rollout. Yeah. And I think Denver was probably like, man, he's going to roll out. He's going to do that dip and turn around, right? Let's keep our rush angles nice and high. Let's force him to come back in where we want him. And so, again, that's another maturity thing. Like, the NFL defense is identifying some holes in your game, some issues you're having, and you adjusting. And he, at every junction so far, when he's been faced with adversity, has made those adjustments. So I think that's another thing that gives me a lot of confidence in him, is that, you know, like when coach says it or EB says it in the presser, he doesn't make the same mistake twice. That is one of the highest compliments a coach can give you, because you're extremely coachable, and that means you're gonna get better. And so he'll probably get this corrected. Maybe not next week, but the week after, right? And then the timing, the presence, all that stuff will get corrected. So I'm excited because I think he's a student of the game. I think he knows what it means to improve. And again, like we'll see. I don't want to like make any declarative statements now, but it's an exciting time for the team.
Week 5.
Week 5.
But you know what? We all have a reason to be excited, and you have a reason to be excited if you're watching, because we are just moments away from quarterback Sam Howell's presser. We will take that live. But until then, fellas, we talked about Sam's poise in the pocket. We talked about this rushing game looking better and stronger. A big part of that is our offensive line. Beamish, you start talking about the offensive line. You just know what I'm going to ask you next, man. How was this offensive line play today? What did you see from them, and how did they help these things that we have talked about get into motion?
Early on, I saw some things I didn't like coming off the edges. But as the game went on, you could see that they solidified the edges, and those interior guys. Sadiq Charles getting downfield. Sam Cosmi, he's vicious. Stromberg even got in the game with Sam had to go off the field.
And I don't mean to cut you off, Beamish. We got Sam Howell, our quarterback, live at the presser.
Yeah, I mean, I think it says everything. You know, that's who this team is. Obviously, we went down early. We kind of put ourselves in a hole. This is a resilient team, and the thing I'm proud of is we had each other's back on both sides of the ball. That's what good teams have to do to find a way to win. We knew there was a lot of football left. Obviously, we would have liked to come out and start a little better. But at the end of the day, we made the plays when we needed to make them, and that's what matters.
What sparked that turnaround?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just taking it one play at a time, and knowing you don't have to get it all at one time, and taking it one play at a time. I think EB did a good job with the play calling, and we put together some good drives, and the defense put together some big stops.
Sam, Terry says he's been itching to get a ball downfield. What did you see on that play, and how nice was it to come through?
Yeah, that was a play coming into the game. We knew we wanted to get called just to give Terry that opportunity. And, you know, they were in a coverage where we knew we'd have a chance to get the ball down the field. And luckily we bought enough time to get Terry behind the safeties. And I just tried to kind of throw it over their head and let Terry have a chance to make a play on it. He made a great play, and we just got to continue to do that. We got to continue to give him the ball and give him those chances down the field, because usually when you do, good things happen.
Sam, back-to-back fourth quarter comebacks to start the year. How do you feel about that?
Good, but at the same time, would not like to be in no position every week. You know, we felt like we could move the ball on these guys, but it was just a matter of us playing clean football, and limiting the sacks in the first half was a big thing. And I feel like the first 2 drives we moved the ball well, but it was just, you know, either a sack or a penalty. I can't really remember, but you know, we felt like we were doing a good job. Had some good game plan. We just got to play better and execute.
And then 6 explosives, preliminary count, 6 explosives in the second half, a lot better than the first half. What was the difference from your mindset?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was, a combination of everything. I think, kind of we were rolling on offense and doing some good things on the ground and in the air, and we opened up the screen game in the second half, and that was big for us. I think the screen game was one of the main things that won us this game. Those backs did a good job. The O-line did a good job in space, but getting to those screens, because those guys were kind of teeing off, but getting to those screens was huge for us.
Sam, obviously there's a lot of attention on the quarterback, pressure, and he was a young guy. What's it like knowing when you go out there that even if something doesn't go right on offense, that defense is going to make plays, particularly those guys up front?
Oh, it's awesome. Just knowing the defense we have, and it gives me so much confidence going into the game, knowing our defense. And they're going to make plays. Obviously, I think they'd like to have some plays back. But at the end of the day, they made the stops when they need to make the stops. So it's so much fun playing with those guys, and it was good to have Chase back out there too.
And Brian Robinson,
yeah.
The performers knowing you could lean on him to both as a runner and as a receiver.
Yeah, he's a heck of a player, and he's worked so hard, and it was so much fun watching him run today. It was a lot of fun. He did a good job. The O-line did a good job. There was some good holes for him to run through, and he hit them. And that's the type of player he is, and did some good things out of the backfield as well. And that's who B-Rob is. He's such a good player, and we just got to continue to help him out and get him more involved.
When he is going like that, what does it do? Just with the way his style running too, what does that do for a team?
Oh, it's everything. He runs hard. He runs physical. He makes the defense feel it every single time he touches the ball. And when you're in tough games like this and it's kind of close towards the end, that's what you need. You need somebody like that. And he's a killer when he gets the ball. So it's so much fun to play with a guy like that. And AG did some good things as well. AG did a good job out of the backfield with some catches, and had a big run there at the end where he cut back on outside zone. So yeah, those guys did a really good job.
Hey, Sam, how would you assess how you played today, what you learned more about yourself today, and how important was it going in at the half, only being down by 7?
Yeah, going into the half, doing some good things late there in the second quarter was big for us to get some momentum, just because being down 21-3, you kind of think the game might get away from you. But we just took it one play at a time. Defense gave us some good stops. We got some good field position, and we took advantage of it for the most part. But, yeah, I mean, I think overall my performance, obviously they would want to look at the film, and I think there's some things I'd like to have back, maybe some throws that were there, and, I had some trouble seeing or something like that. So, I'd like to watch the film before I comment on it.
What did you make of the Hail Mary and seeing that stop there at the end? Can you just kind of take us through your emotions?
Yeah, I mean, obviously a roller coaster. But the thing about Russ throws a really good deep ball, and like he can throw it really high and he gets it to turn over. So like if I needed someone else to throw a Hail Mary, Russ is that guy. Like just the way he throws his deep ball. So I knew that he was going to give those guys a chance. And Cody was on him too. He almost hit him. So for him to get that throw off, and then obviously a great play by the receiver. But luckily we made the play on the 2-point conversion.
And then the throw for Terry, that wasn't just like chuck it down there to see if Terry was there. Like you anticipated him being in that spot and stuff, right?
Yeah, correct. I wasn't just taking the snap and blindly throwing it down there. I knew the coverage they were in. They were in a quarters coverage, and I knew the play that we had is good versus that coverage. It was just a matter of getting those safeties down and giving Terry a chance to get over the top. A play we've worked a lot of all week, and we hit it a good few times in practice this week. So it was fun to see that translate in the game.
All right, thanks, man.
Appreciate it, guys.
Always great to hear quarterback Sam Howell. Man, what a poised guy. And speaking of players, don't miss the Players Club. Washington legends London Fletcher and Santana Moss join one of your favorite current commanders every Saturday night at 11:35 p.m. on WUSA 9. You can also watch the show on our YouTube channel and download the podcast wherever you get your podcast from. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're not done just yet. We have a lot more fun to get into. We have not even touched on this defense yet. Our first rounder got his first pick of his season, and got a lot more to talk about with this defense. And we're actually going to take you in the locker room to hear Coach Rivera's post-game locker room speech. I can't wait to hear what that guy had to say after a game like this. All that and more on Command Center Post-Game Live. We'll be back.
You're going to like this story because You're going to like this story because it's about you. You who forgot to charge your phone last night. You who sprints to the boarding line so your bag will fit. You with him. Until one day you boarded a United plane that was designed for, well, you. And your phone got charged, your bag fit, so did everyone else's, but this story isn't about them. Your toddler didn't tantrum, and you got to fly happily ever after. The end.
Hey, it's me, food. I'm so much more than just what we eat. I'm hand-cut, fresh and frosted. I love it. Aw, I love you too. See, life is always something new. All messy, frantic, and amazing. And from where I sit, you look delicious. That's why every day is worth celebrating. If you can. Stay fresh. Sincerely, food. Sincerely, Safeway.
Right now on FanDuel, new customers bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. And all NFL bettors get $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube TV. So you can live bet all game long. So get all your high fives in now before football Sundays become Sundays again.
Bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets. And get $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube TV. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook.
Play the Maryland Lottery. Because fun looks good on you. Right now, play our exciting new Battleship, Connect 4, and Yahtzee Fast Play games for a chance to win up to $50,000.
What you looking for? My financial wellness. Bro, stop searching. Go Northwest. I went to Northwest Federal Credit Union, even better than a bank. I'm actually really building my savings now. Savings? How much? We're not gonna find it in there. Try here. Bro, stop searching. Go Northwest.
Experience the performance of Toyota Camry, from TRD to all-wheel drive and hybrid. With comfort and control. To travel your way and arrive in style. Right now, buy a Camry and get $750 finance cash. Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome back into Command Center Post-Game Live. Now it is time for your never ordinary play presented by Bet365. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it is never ordinary at Bet365. And a guy that we know is far from ordinary, our rookie first rounder, Emmanuel Forbes. Here is him getting his first career interception, fellas. And I'm proud to say I think this is going to be the first of many. What do you guys think about this play?
Yeah, he almost got him one last week, and he finally pulled this one in today. You can see he was trying to get up because he knows how to get in the end zone when he catches one. And he fumbled the ball. He had to get back to it. But I think this kid has great ball skills. I saw a comment from Akeem Talib. He said, listen, when you look at that kid, you know one thing. He has it.
Yeah.
And I expect him to go out there and get a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, I just like the instincts are so high with him. You know, like his ability to kind of track the football and match those route concepts. Like, you know, obviously he's still going through some growing pains. He had a holding call in this game. A little ticky-tack, but there was a holding call. I think so. I just am excited for him and kind of to see the maturity and the skill set from training camp translate. Because sometimes with rookies, you don't always see that, right, Brian? Like, you just see, like, oh, he's really good in practice, but it doesn't quite look the same in games. And there's a little bit of that, but I love the fact he's confident enough to make these plays on the ball. And when he gets a hand on the ball, he's catching them, which is great. So that's awesome.
Yeah, and you talk about poise with Sam Howell, right? Well, Forbes gave up a big play. Forbes gave up a big play to a second rounder in Mims. How did you like being able to see him shake that off? What's up with you, B. Mitch? Like seeing him shake that off, have short-term memory, and just finish this game out strong.
If you watch him on that play, he came up and he wasn't set when the ball was snapped. Yeah. So you're playing from behind in that situation. I looked at Chase a couple times today where he's standing and he's getting ready to go down and the ball snapped. Guys got to learn. Get up there, get to the ball, get yourself ready because offenses are trying to catch you off guard so they can have an advantage. And I think he learned from that play. It won't happen again. I promise you.
Yeah, I mean, I think you love to see the resolve. And, you know, with a DB, like Fred Smoot always says, you got to have a short memory. You know,
Right.
and, like, I think
Definitely,
that's what you see with that. Like, the best DBs that I played with that I've been exposed to, like, you know, D. Hall would give up a touchdown, then the next play he'd be talking all this mess. And
They're the
get a
most
pick,
confident people in
and
the
get a
world.
pick. They're
Yeah.
the most confident people in the world. So I think that's what you're seeing from him. And when you talk to him, he bring that confidence is like you know, pouring out of him. So obviously we didn't watch the film. We don't get to know how he's doing all the rest of the plays. You just get to see kind of the big flash moments. But I'm excited to watch the film and kind of get a deeper evaluation. But it's great to see moments like this from him.
And DB, toughest position probably to play in football. You got to have
Yeah.
a lot of confidence.
A lot of confidence.
And one player that has no lack of confidence, no matter how many games he missed, that's our guy, Chase Young. Made his debut for the season, came back strong. B-Mitch, start with you. What'd you see from your boy Chase?
I was
impressed.
Predator. I was impressed by the things he did out there today. You know, coming back, had been out a long time. You're going to play in Mile High Stadium.
Yeah.
So you worry about the conditioning. Didn't seem like it caused him any
Didn't
problems.
seem like a big deal, no. It'd be interesting to talk to him about it, though, see if he's like, man, I was really tired or whatever reason. But when I look at him, I say to myself, the one thing that really sticks out to me is when you're watching him, right? Like, you know, we talked about this when we were watching him. Like, sometimes he gets a little bit high with his rush, or he used to. I love the maturity. I love the desire to improve, tighten that rush angle down, more powerful rush, compress the pocket, getting it on some sacks and pressures just by being more physical with his rush angles. And that's something that he wasn't doing last year when he was healthy, and the year before, kind of when Ron was saying, oh, he needs to grow up and needs to be more mature. So I love that he's brought that with him, and it wasn't like a drop off. It wasn't like, oh, we're in the game, I'm going to lose my mind and do whatever I want. It's like, no, I'm going to be a good pro and execute the way I need to execute. So.
And Logan, we all, I think, had personal high expectations for Chase Young, but really we just wanted to see him get out there, right? We really just wanted to see him get to play some football, return to this strong defense. Anything surprise you about Chase Young's debut today?
I mean, just how productive he was. Like, I mean, he hasn't been this productive, like, from a sack standpoint for a long time. So it's really great to see that. And, you know, the fact he played so much, I think we all knew that he was going to play more than what they said he was going to play. But I think that's something that's really exciting. And to see him, you know, do what he needs to do is awesome. So.
Thank you.
Yeah, there we go.
Hey, you know what, B-Mitch, what we're going to do is we're going to take a little break right now, right? We're going to allow you to get some water. We hear you coughing over here. It's allergy season. And you know what? Before we go, though, I do got to show love to my baby, and that is Command Center.
Oh,
now,
there you go.
You can watch Command Center with my dog, Logan Paulson, Fred Smoot, Santana Moss, London Fletcher, and I every week. We're giving you everything Commanders, everything you need to know before game day. And we're also talking a little bit about the past game, right? So you can check all that out on our YouTube channel. And you know what? We aren't going anywhere. We're going to let B-Mitch get some hydration, and we'll be right back for more defensive talk. B-Mitch, we need you tonight.
I got it.
Hey, grab me one too.
Hey, Marissa, what are you doing?
Searching
For what?
my financial wellness.
Stop searching. Go Northwest. I went to Northwest Federal Credit Union, even better than a bank. And they hooked me up with totally free financial counseling to help me manage my money.
Totally free?
Totally free.
I feel my financial wellness running through me already.
Whatever works. Stop searching. Go Northwest.
When adventure calls, answer in a Toyota RAV4. Equipped for a range of capability, ample cargo space, and to keep you connected. Right now, buy a RAV4 with low APR financing. Toyota, let's go places.
Are you on your way?
Yep, coming.
And Mom and Dad?
Don't worry, they'll be there.
Happy anniversary!
Go beyond the expected with the #1 most dependable mass market brand 3 years in a row by J.D. Power. Kia, movement that inspires.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the High Five Strangers guy. Game-winning interception? First down? Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
One bag.
The winter play was really coming together. Until disaster struck. Tensions were high. Luckily, replacement costumes were shipped with FedEx, which means Mr. Harvey could picture the perfect night. We're ready for the holidays, so you're ready for what's next.
Welcome back into Command Center Postgame Live BC with B. Mitch and Logan P. And it's time for our post-game delivery presented by Pizzanos. Since your Commanders scored 4 touchdowns, you just saw that last one right there, you better pull up to Pizzanos tomorrow where you receive 4 free toppings all day long. That's 4 touchdowns for 4 free toppings.
What do we got here? A little pepperoni?
Yes.
Look at that.
You get 4
toppings, right? No. 3 toppings.
No.
What is that?
That's just one topic.
I know,
right
so
there.
3 plus 3 would be 4, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Good math,
math.
Logan.
Thanks, guys.
Well, no, Logan, be careful with that. That's my dinner. Be careful with that.
What? Math league, man. That's about the extent of my math work, though, I will say.
Hey, well, listen, you've been studying up, and listen, we got a lot more to talk about throughout the week when we come back with Command Center. But before we end this show today, fellas, these y'all final thoughts, man. We are 2-0.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so happy to say that. I'm not even surprised to say that we are 2-0. You know what, B. Mitch, I was gonna start with you. We're gonna let you get your win back, Logan. We'll go to you first. Final thoughts on today's game.
I mean, you said you weren't surprised. I'm a little surprised. I mean, this got a young quarterback starting, a new offensive coordinator, and to get all the leadership and all the pieces kind of working together. This is a tough trip, man. This was a tough trip to Denver. This was a great offensive performance. There was a ton of adversity involved. So yeah, I'm a little surprised. I'm really excited for the organization, really excited for Sam, and hopefully they can use this in saying, like, man, no one can mess with us. And all of a sudden, this Bills game coming up in a week feels and smells a little bit different now, man.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Imagine that crowd, B. How
it's going to be a lot of people out there. I'm not surprised by the way the offense runs because that's how it's supposed to run. I am a little surprised about how they kept fighting because I've gotten accustomed to this team not being able to pull things out. But I'm thrilled by what I'm seeing. You know, we've talked so much about the change with this whole franchise and new ownership and all that. But you seem to have a new attitude with this football team. And I think that's the ultimate thing where fans don't care if you win every week. They would love to see it. Yeah. But they truly care about how you approach this thing. They have a different level of approach, and I think that's why the enthusiasm and the passion has come back to this team. So I'm happy about that.
That's a great point.
A lot of enthusiasm, a lot of passion. It's hard not to be when you're 2-0, baby. When you're 2-0. And what a great set of show we've had. It makes it a lot easier to do a post-game after a win, right? Makes it a lot easier. But you know what? We don't just have these shows. We got some other stuff, too. We also have podcasts for you. If you're a podcast fan, we have a couple of good ones, actually. Monday, Fred Smoot and Michael Jenkins get loud about the Commanders and pretty much any other topic you can think of. And of course, we have the Command Center podcast with my guy Logan, Fred, and Santana. They do a deep dive into Commanders matchups and the best insights you can get. Check them out wherever you get your podcast and over on our YouTube. Now, fellas, like I said, man, this is a wrap, man. I've had a great time with y'all. My heart finally kind of slowed down a little bit.
Back to normal.
I was stressed out a little bit. I was stressed out. I didn't know what we was going to see, man. I just wanted to win. And you know what? We got to win. Nothing easy. And we have, like you said, a tough matchup against the Buffalo Bills. But we will be back home, and we will be back there as well. So come pull up on us. We will have the game day set right there. We have the game day center live, and we have the post-game live show for you all next Sunday when we take on the Buffalo Bills at home at FedEx Field. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Brian Colbert Jr. This is B. Mitch, Logan Paulson. Have a great night. 2-0, baby.
4 quarters. All right? It may not go the way you want in the first quarter and a half. Okay? And the problem is you got to stop waiting for somebody else to make the play. Go ahead and be playmakers. But once we got it rolling, you guys played to your abilities, and that's what you're capable of. That's a hell of a job, guys. Give yourselves a chance. and then you went out and you did what you needed to do to win the football game. It's a hell of a deal, guys, okay? And you guys can have tomorrow off. We got work to do. We got work to do, man. We got a hell of a team coming in to put our place. It's a hell of a victory. You guys did a great job. Really proud of what you guys did. Understand what we are capable of and what we can become. It's up to us. Ball's in our court, okay? Any questions? All right, here we go. Team on three. 1, 2, 3, team!